My dear listeners, this is an original sci-fi story I wrote for you. If you'd like to support me, just subscribe to the channel, it really helps the growth. The orbital station Nix 7 hung like a forgotten relic in the void of the Nix system. A sprawling labyrinth of rusted corridors and flickering holographic panels orbiting a gas giant shrouded in perpetual storms. Once a bustling hub for interstellar trade, it had been abandoned after a corporate war, left to decay under the indifferent gaze of distant stars. But for the Shadow Claw, it was sanctuary. This elusive race of predators had claimed it as their hidden lair, far from the prying eyes of the Galactic Federation. With their shimmering, adaptive skins that bent light into invisibility, razor-sharp claws that could slice through alloy, and echolocation that mapped the darkness like sonar, the Shadow Claw were masters of stealth. They moved like ghosts, their packs weaving through shadows, hunting in silence, surviving by never being seen. Kara, the pack's matriarch, crouched in the dim glow of the central core, her bioluminescent eyes pulsing faintly as she guarded her youngest cub, Liar. The little one, barely a cycle old, fidgeted with his tiny claws, his skin still learning to shift into full camouflage. Around them, the pack, 10 strong, huddled in tense formation. Their echolocation clicks echoed softly, painting a grim picture. Invaders had breached the outer hull. Not organic foes, but machines. Relentless drones from a rogue AI collective, programmed to purge organic infestations from derelict structures. The robots swarmed like metallic insects, their red sensors sweeping for heat signatures, laser cutters humming with deadly precision. The attack had come without warning. One moment, the station's alarms blared a false all-clear. The next, hull breaches erupted in fiery bursts. Kara's pack had scattered to the vents and ducts, using their natural stealth to evade detection. But Liar, playful and unseasoned, had wandered too far during the chaos. Now he was trapped in a sealed cargo bay, the drones closing in. Kara's claws dug into the grating as she listened to his faint, terrified clicks through the walls. "We cannot reach him," whispered Thorn, her second in command, his form blending seamlessly with the shadows. "The machines block all paths. To strike is to reveal ourselves and die." Kara's heart constricted. In Shadowclaw culture, the pack was shadow itself. Fluid, unseen, eternal. Cubs were the future, fragile threads in the web of survival. But to expose the pack for one was folly. "We wait," she hissed, though agony laced her voice. "We endure." The others nodded, their echolocation confirming the drone's advance. Liar's clicks grew frantic, then silent. The pack prepared their morning hum, a low vibration that resonated through the station's bones. A song of loss swallowed by the void. But then, a new sound pierced the darkness. Heavy boots clanging on metal, labored breathing amplified by a suit's vents. A figure emerged from a side corridor, not slinking like a shadow claw, but striding boldly. A human, Alex Rivera, an itinerant engineer scavenging parts from forgotten outposts to fund his wanderings across the stars. His suit was patched and outdated, a relic from Earth's early colonial days, with no cloaking tech or advanced weapons. Just a toolkit slung over his shoulder and a flickering headlamp cutting through the gloom. Humans were rare in these fringes, dismissed by most species as soft-bodied curiosities. No natural armor, no innate stealth, just fragile flesh and a propensity for meddling. Alex had docked his shuttle hours before the invasion, drawn by rumors of intact fusion cores. Now, alarms blaring, he cursed his luck. "Of all the derelicts," he muttered, scanning his wrist pad for escape routes. But as he navigated the corridors, his suit's audio picked up something odd. High-pitched clicks, like sonar pings, emanating from the cargo bay ahead. Peering through a viewport, he saw it. A small, shimmering form huddled in a corner, its outline flickering in and out of visibility. A cub? And closing in, 3 drones, their appendages whirring as they prepared to dissect. The Shadowclaw pack watched from the vents, invisible but alert. "What is this fool doing?" Thorn growled. Humans were known for their noise, their light, antitheses to stealth. Kara tensed. If the human drew the drones, it might create an opening, but at what cost? They observed as Alex hesitated, then squared his shoulders. "Can't just leave the kid," he whispered to himself, a habit from lonely voyages. With no weapon beyond a plasma torch, he jury-rigged his toolkit. Stripping wires from a nearby panel, he fashioned a crude electromagnetic pulse emitter. "Old-school EMP," he grinned grimly. "Let's see how you bots like a headache." The drones turned as Alex burst through the hatch, his headlamp blazing like a supernova in the dark bay. "Hey, tin cans! Over here!" He dodged a laser swipe, rolling behind crates as sparks flew. The cub, Liar, let out a startled click, his eyes wide at this brazen intruder. Alex's suit tore on jagged metal, blood seeping into the fabric, but he ignored it, zeroing in on the cub. One drone lunged. Alex thrust his EMP device forward, unleashing a crackling wave that shorted its circuits in a shower of sparks. The machine crumpled, but the others adapted, their shields humming online. From the shadows, Kara's pack murmured in disbelief. "He fights openly? In the light? Madness." Thorn's claws flexed. "He will die and take the cub with him." But Alex pressed on, gravity fluctuating as the station's stabilizers failed. In zero-G he floated, grabbing Liar with one arm while fending off drones with the other. The cub squirmed, his tiny claws scratching Alex's suit, but the human held firm. "Easy, little guy. I've got you." Another drone closed in. Alex hurled a loose panel, using the momentum to propel them toward an air vent. His free hand sparked wires together, creating a diversionary flare that blinded the sensors. Pain shot through his side. A laser grazed burning flesh, but Alex gritted his teeth. Humans weren't built for this. No echolocation to navigate blind, no camouflage to hide. Yet here he was, in the heart of darkness, refusing to yield. With a final burst, he shoved Liar into the vent, then turned to face the last drone. "Come on, you rust bucket." He overloaded his suit's power core, channeling it into a massive pulse that fried the machine, and nearly himself. Alarms wailed in his helmet as systems failed, oxygen dipping low. The pack surged from the shadows as Alex collapsed, gasping. Thorn pulled him into cover while Kara retrieved Liar, nuzzling the cub who now clicked excitedly, unharmed. You are not of our kind," Kara said, her voice translator crackling. "Why risk everything? The machines would have passed. You could have hidden." Alex coughed, propping himself up despite the wound. Blood floated in globules in the low gravity. "Hide? Nah. Saw the kid, your kid, trapped. Reminded me of stories back home. On Earth, we don't just survive in the dark. We light it up. Bring hope where there's none." He winced, but his eyes burned fierce. "We're not the strongest or stealthiest, but we don't abandon the vulnerable. Not if we can help it." The Shadowclaw exchanged glances, their echolocation revealing the human's battered form. No claws, no skin shift, just raw determination. Liar approached, pressing against Alex's leg, his camouflage sinking faintly with the human's suit. A rare bond sign. Kara bowed her head, a gesture of profound respect in their culture. "You fought as no shadow does, in the open, for one not your own. We name you Lightbringer. Join our pack if you will. Teach us this defiance." Alex smiled weakly. "Yeah, family's what you make it, right?" As repair drones, now under pack control, sealed the breaches, the story rippled through Shadowclaw networks. Humans? Weak, they scoffed at first. Loud, visible prey. But Kara knew better. She had witnessed it. A human, outmatched and wounded, charging into peril for a stranger's cub. Not because of strength in body, but in spirit. Humans didn't conquer shadows. They illuminated them, turning fear into alliance. Word spread across the galaxy's fringes. The Shadowclaw, once isolationist, began seeking human allies, whispering of beings who wielded empathy like a weapon. For in a universe of predators lurking in dark, humans were the anomaly. Warriors without fangs, who declared, "No one gets left behind." And that refusal to surrender, that boundless heart, it wasn't weakness. It was the force that could unite stars, making the cosmos tremble not in terror, but in wonder at what humanity truly meant. For when shadows threatened to engulf all, humans didn't hide. They became the dawn.